Hey everybody, this is Kelly. Welcome back to another episode of Ask a Therapist. So I know last time I told you that I was going to come back with a video about narcissism, and I sat down to do it and got like halfway through the recording, and this video is not about narcissism. This video is a follow-up to my What Purity Culture Teaches Women video. My video last week seems to have ruffled some feathers. I really have no problem with ruffling feathers. I also don't like to make people feel badly about themselves or upset people in a way that really calls into question like their processing or their ability to function. Much of the response we got was very positive. People sharing stories. I got one comment. This comment was put on my channel and then promptly deleted, but not before it posted to my notifications and not before it posted to my email and not before some people read it. I don't want this video to make people not comment, but I also think that this thing that was said, this thing that was written, I don't know who saw it. I know that I saw it, and I want to address this in a way that does not call out the person who wrote it, because that's not the point. So the comment that I received on my last video was this. I give you a moment to read it. I'm not going to tell you who left it. I'm going to try to in no way expose them, because that, again, is not the point and is not the best therapeutic practice either. But I think that it's important to address this comment, and with the forum that we have here, I'm the one that's going to talk. And if you have things to say in response, well, you know where the comments are. So let's start with the private parts are for your husband only. Awkward, considering I don't have a husband. Also, many women don't have husbands. Many women don't plan on marrying a man and therefore obtaining a husband. I don't know that I ever said that I wanted to expose my private parts to someone else. Also, can we just be adults and call them what they are? They're vaginas or breasts or penises. It's definitely a good thing that I have no intention of ever being monetized, because that would never happen with these videos. I'm not talking about exposing myself to someone. There's a big difference between showing the entirety of my breast and walking around with no shirt on in public and walking around with a tank top on. There's a very big difference there. And again, this comment seems to reflect the opinion that my body would be the possession of someone I would marry. That's not a thing. My body will always be mine. My body does not belong to the person that I married. My body belongs to me. As someone who is married, the access that my spouse gets to my body is also up to me. No one else. I've never understood this thing about purity culture that says that women need to avail themselves constantly to their husbands or else their husbands will stray. And that's going to be another video. Trust me. But the bottom line is my private parts are for me, and that's it. And the rest of my body, I should not, as a woman, feel like there are certain pairs of pants I can wear to certain places because I don't want the attention of other people who feel like they have a right to comment about what I am wearing or what I look like in what I'm wearing. That's the difference. That's where purity culture has done a disservice to women, is we are made to feel like we are responsible for everyone else's thoughts, and we're not. That goes into my second point, where the comment said, the Bible says to dress modestly. It does not say to be ashamed of your bodies. Actually, the Bible doesn't specifically say dress modestly, number one. And number two, the definition of modest in the Bible is not the definition that we currently follow in the culture in which I live. I don't know if more needs to be said about that or not, but it floored me that someone felt the need to say this to me and to publicly comment this part. Y'all, if you're gonna cite the Bible, cite it. Tell me where you're getting that from, because again, I didn't say that the Bible said that you have to be embarrassed of your body. I said that the church, that this culture of purity and that being your worth has made women embarrassed of their bodies because their bodies are venues for sin. Okay, so my third point, we're going to stop with the beginning of this next phrase. It's not even a sentence, a phrase. If you want to show your private parts, go to a strip club. I don't want to show my private parts. I want women to be able to dress how they feel comfortable and be exempt from the judgment of other people, men and women. The judgment portion is what I have a problem with, and this comment is riddled with judgment. Why is that where we go? Why in conversations about things that get people heated do we go to the very furthest possibility? So I think about when people were talking about legalizing same-sex marriage and how,
well, if we legalize that, then people are going to want to marry their dogs.
Or have it be legal to have sex with animals.
No. The reason that we do that is because the concept that we're being presented with, it puts our understanding of things so off center that the only thing we can grab to is something that we're convinced will get people to our side. When our logic goes to that wide open space where anything is possible and that's scary to us, that is an indication that you are trying to control things. It is not necessary, anonymous commenter, for you to have control over what parts of my body or what parts of anyone's body they show. Your understanding of what I'm trying to express when it comes to the problematic nature of purity culture stops at your line of guilt because you recognize those statements. You know you've made those statements and you don't want to feel guilty. So you're going to throw out there a big, broad example of,
well, obviously you want to go work in a strip club.
Or you want to go to a strip club.
In actuality, all I said was, I don't want women to have to be ashamed of themselves because of arbitrary rules that this one group of people have put on our society. This next part is, I think, probably the part that upsets me the most, and that's the real reason that I've felt so strongly about doing this video today. The sick perverts comment and the prostitutes comment. Sick perverts, beyond being redundant, is also reductive. Prostitutes are not working in strip clubs always. That's not the same thing. Where do you get off passing judgment on people who work in the sex industry or people who partake in the sex industry? Do you know anyone who works in a strip club, or do you know anyone who is actively involved in prostitution, or anyone who goes to strip clubs? Have you ever, I don't know, had a conversation with them about it? Or is this just your assumption that you pull up and you decide to spew because you feel that entitled? I am here to tell you that everyone's choices and everyone's life is their own. Some people get better choices than other people get, and some people will never understand that. I am so glad that you are not the person who decides if I go to hell. The amount of judgment that you have thrown out there, it actually doesn't even matter that you deleted the comment because it was up there long enough for other people to see it. You took the time out of your day for long enough to come at people without your name in your profile, without any kind of ownership of who you are or ability for anyone to have an intelligent debate with you about it and to hear your story. If you had not deleted your comment, I would have engaged in this conversation differently with you. And honestly, it's not like it would be the first negative comment I've ever gotten. I am sorry that you felt that you have something you need to hide. If this is where you stand, if this is the statement that you're willing to put out there to people, then you should own that and be willing to have honest conversation, interaction with somebody about it. This is what I am so frustrated about right now when it comes to our world in general. It is offensive to me that someone felt like they get to take an entire group of people. They get to take women who have been victims of this purity culture phenomenon and make them all into this grouping of people that want to show their private parts to everybody and are obviously definitely going to hell. You don't decide that for people. If the God that you worship wanted you to write that comment, let's pretend like that's a thing, then you should have left it up because you have nothing to hide, right? To anyone who witnessed this comment, I apologize. And to anyone who's offended by this video, yeah, I probably don't actually apologize for that one. Therapy isn't just making people feel better. Therapy is about calling out things that are wrong. Therapy is political. Therapy is interactive. It's work. to call into the forefront faulty reasonings and things that we've been handed or have been put on us, or things that we've accepted as true, until someone comes along and says, you don't have to believe that anymore because it's not true. That's what I'm trying to tell you here. For those of you who have fallen victim to purity culture, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not true. It does not determine your worth. It does not speak to who you are as a person, and this commenter does not speak to who you are as a person. So I think that's all for today. If this has been offensive to anyone, I would love for you to communicate with me in an adult way. I hope that you will tune back in next time for the actual narcissist video, and I hope to see you soon. Subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell so you get notified when I do videos, and until then, take care of yourselves and each other.